channel and welcome to another video. So last week on Instagram there was one particular post that really kind of stood out to me and was weighing on my mind. I'm not going to name and shame right now because it's not just this one person who's done it. There's so many other posts out there like that. But yeah, there was this one which was getting a lot of attention last week. If you follow me on Instagram then you'll know which one it was. And it just got me thinking about all the kind of diet culture that there is on Instagram, and it really made me want to make a video on it because there's so much false information and also harming information out there that these people with large followings and a large influence are promoting, and they're having an impact on thousands or maybe even millions of people's lives, which is just crazy. So I really wanted to address it today and you'll know which kind of information to avoid on Instagram. So this one post in particular was promoting a weight loss journey. I mean, there's plenty of those on Instagram, but this one was a 6-week weight loss journey where the person was claiming that they'd been on 1,200 calories a day. First of all, that's around about the kind of requirements of a toddler, not a full-grown adult. A full-grown adult definitely can't survive on that number of calories. Eating so few calories will have massive impacts on your metabolism, which if you saw my how you might be slowing down your metabolism video, then you will know that. I'll also link it up on screen just in case you haven't yet seen that one, as that goes into a little bit more depth about calorie restriction and metabolism. But just to kind of summarize, so in the health and fitness industry, your metabolism is thought of as your total daily energy expenditure, which is made up of your basic metabolic rate, which is the energy that you use at complete rest. Then you've also got your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is the kind of energy that you use like me now when I'm moving my hands about or fidgeting or just walking from A to B, sort of the non-intentional exercise energy that you use. Then there's also your exercise activity thermogenesis, which is the energy you use in a workout. And then you've also got your thermic effect of food, which is the amount of energy you use when you're digesting. So having such a restricted diet and being on so few calories will massively reduce all those factors. Your basic metabolic rate will go down as your body tries to conserve as much energy as possible. Your non-exercise activity thermogenesis will also go down as you've got less energy available. Your body will try to keep you as still as possible. You'll fidget less, you'll move less. Your exercise activity thermogenesis will go down because even though you go to the workout, you do the same workout, you won't have as much energy to use and you won't put your all into it. Even if your perceived exertion still seems quite high, it won't be the same as your actual exertion. It will just be more down to the fact that you're starving yourself. Also, as you are eating less food, you will be digesting less and therefore your thermic effect of food will go down as well. So overall, you'll be expending less energy on a day-to-day basis. Also, your body will turn to looking for alternative energy sources, so you'll often break down a lot of your muscle mass, which you probably want to try and avoid, which will further reduce your total daily energy expenditure, as your muscles are one of the most metabolically active tissues, meaning that they will help to increase your basal metabolic rate. In terms of your NEAT and your exercise activity thermogenesis, having more muscle, you'll generally weigh a little bit more, which means that you've got more weight to move and to work with, so you will burn more energy. So overall, again, your total daily energy expenditure will be massively reduced as your body enters that starvation mode. So this kind of approach really isn't sustainable in the long term because it has all of these drastic effects on your body, which essentially put it into that starvation stress state mode, which means things start to slowly shut down. Certain organs will slow down, they won't work as efficiently anymore, as only the processes that are deemed to be essential for life will carry on working as they should be, and those will be made a priority, such as keeping you breathing, keeping your heart rate going, your digestion, getting your period. All those other kind of processes that normally go on will sort of slowly grind to a halt. And then also to go along with that, it's not sustainable because after those 6 weeks, you're likely to probably go back to eating how you were. You're gonna feel starved, you're gonna want to have more food, but because your metabolism is so slowed, it will just lead you to gain the weight that you lost. So really, those kind of 6 weeks of stressing your body out and being on such few calories are really not gonna be worth anything in the long term. Also, being on such a restricted diet, you'll find it harder to think, you'll find it harder to concentrate, you'll likely feel tired all the time because you're supplying yourself with such little energy. In general, everything will just seem like so much more effort because your body's trying to conserve energy and it tries to sort of restrict your movement. You're also probably likely to get quite a few mood swings. You're probably not going to be the nicest person to be around when you're on such a restricted diet because your hormones go all over the place. You're technically going to be like hangry all the time. We all know that feeling when you haven't eaten for a few hours, you're getting quite hungry, you're not in the best of moods. If you're doing that for a solid 6 weeks, you can just imagine how bad that's gonna be. And in terms of your actual hormones, starving yourself like that is really going to massively impact your hunger cues and your hunger hormones. So your ghrelin, which is a hormone that stimulates hunger, will increase, meaning that you're on so few calories, which is already hard to do. Your hunger signals are going to massively increase, making it even harder. Then also your leptin and your CCK, which inhibit hunger and are your satiety hormones, will go down. So that means you'll be feeling more hungry and less full. So you'll be wanting to eat all the time, and when you're like that, it'll become the only thing you can think about. Your main kind of activities of the day will end up revolving around food, just because it's the only thing you can think about, because your body's telling you, hold up, you need to eat, you're starving me here, I need more food. Which means other activities and enjoyments in your life are likely to slip, and you're just going to be thinking about your next meal constantly. And eventually, when that 6-week period ends, because your hormones are so out of whack, your body's no longer sort of biologically regulated anymore, you're probably going to binge out on a lot of food, just because your body's trying to make up for the food that it's missed out on during that 6-week period. Also, your digestion will massively slow down. As I mentioned earlier, other processes that aren't deemed essential for life will be kind of pushed aside. So your digestion will still occur, but it will massively slow. You're probably going to feel more bloated, maybe a bit more gassy. Your pooing habits might kind of go out the window as well. You might get more constipated, or may get diarrhea. You may get sort of symptoms of something like irritable bowel syndrome as well, just because your digestion isn't working as efficiently as it could do if you were supplying your body with the right amount of food. And then kind of bringing it back to the Instagram world, not only do we often see very low calorie diets being promoted, but there's also a lot of diet products. In the US alone, the sort of weight loss and diet market is now worth over $72 billion. That's a lot of cash that's invested in those weight loss products. So you can see why it'd be tempting for someone with a large influence to go ahead and promo it, because they're probably going to be getting paid a whole lot of money to promote these weight loss, skinny tea, weight loss shake kind of products. However, no single product like that is gonna make you lose weight. If anything, if it's simply because you've suddenly been put on this weight loss shake kind of diet, it's probably just because if you're only consuming those shakes, overall your calorie intake is gonna decrease. So essentially you're just putting yourself into a calorie deficit, and that's why you're seeing results. It wouldn't be because of the skinny tea or because of the weight loss shake. One of the kind of main things when it comes to sort of losing weight or gaining weight in the long term will be due to just your calorie intake versus kind of your energy expenditure. There's a lot more that goes into it, and it's a lot more complicated than that, but if we're just sort of bringing it really down to that simplistic kind of view, then no single product is going to help you lose weight. And also kind of coming back to a sustained weight loss approach, if you are really looking to lose weight because you're at an unhealthy weight or something's affecting your health and it's actually something that affects your day-to-day life, then go seek the help of a professional. Don't just believe what you read on social media or fall for some crazy diet trend. Seek a registered nutritionist or a dietitian who can actually help you over the long term and do it in a more manageable, sustainable, long-term way that will last for many years into the future. Also, when it comes to going in a calorie deficit, if anyone ever tells you to go into more than a 10% calorie deficit, and that's really talking as a max 10% of a calorie deficit, you're probably going to be restricting yourself a little bit too much, and a lot of those symptoms will really flare up. Already with a 10% calorie deficit, those symptoms and your metabolism effects will start to happen, but less drastically than they would if you're pushing it even more. So definitely the best approach to anything is taking a long-term sustainable approach that, yes, you're not going to get quick fast results for, and if you do see any drastic changes, that's probably because you've taken a drastic approach to it, and like I said, that's not going to be sustainable long into the future, and it's going to be doing your body a whole lot more harm than any kind of good. Also, it's often best to kind of just take your mind off of the numbers, because your weight can fluctuate so much and there's so many factors that go into it, from just for especially females, time of the month your period could affect your weight, from just your water retention on that day, how much you've drunk, how much you've eaten, and just because you've eaten a bit more that day, it doesn't mean that your weight's gone up because you've actually technically gained that weight in body mass, but you're just holding on to a lot more food and your body's just taking a little bit longer to digest it because you've eaten more than maybe you're used to. So having a day every now and again like that where you may eat a little bit more is completely fine, and it's not going to cause you to gain weight in the long run. So just really fixating on that one number and always paying attention to your weight. It could have gone up or it could have gone down for a number of different reasons. A sort of more sustainable approach is kind of focusing on changing your body composition instead of just thinking of weight, because the weight could come from anything. It could come from fat, it could come from muscle, it could come from water, so that you can kind of work to decrease maybe fat fat mass but increase your muscle mass, so you preserve your muscle, you still are able to maintain your metabolism, and your body will be overall healthy and working as it should be. However, kind of looking at weight loss versus fat loss versus muscle gain, I kind of want to do a video into that as well, as you can really distinguish between the 3 different types. They will affect your body composition in very different ways, they will affect that number on the scale in different ways, and yeah, that's just a whole nother video for another time because there's a lot more that can be said about each of those 3 things individually. But hopefully this video is kind of giving you a good sort of overview of the things to look out for on social media, and to not put your trust into these influencers who haven't done their research, who don't really know what they're talking about, and they're promoting these really damaging and unhealthy diets and diet products. So hopefully you have got something out of this and it's opened your eyes up a little bit more and you're more aware of some of the things that you're consuming on social media. If you have found this video useful and taken something from it, then be sure to smash a big thumbs up on it. Also be sure to click on that little red subscribe button down below if you're new to my channel, as it would be amazing if you could do that. And there's also that notifications bell too that you can tap on so that you're notified whenever I upload. As for this video though, I hope you found it useful and I will see you very soon with another one. Bye!